We are a family of 3 who have committed ourselves to hunting the fun stuff wherever the Army sends us. Our latest adventure involves a rooftop tent and some off-roading as we move from Fort Hood, Texas to Fort Irwin, California. Stay tuned for more adventures. I did pack a frying pan, a spatula, or oils.
All those days in the duck blind, looking for geese. Here they are.
Leveling out the truck before we set up the tent is a crucial step. The last thing you want is for your whole family to roll over to your side of the tent in the night because the truck isn't sitting level. Here we found some large rocks to drive up on to level the truck out. You can also use traction boards, but we opted to use the materials available at the site. As with the last site, we were directly on the water. Fort Hood has 2 lakes right nearby, Belton Lake, which we camped on last night, and Stillhouse Lake, which you can see here.
Ooh.
Hey!
Wow!
Riley! Oh, yeah.
Sam was able to keep an eye on Emma Grace while we set up, and they had a great time exploring the lake with Riley, who loves to swim. Emma Grace was completely unafraid of the water and had the time of her life exploring the shallows near the beach. We stood by in case she fell, but as the water was no more than 4 to 6 inches deep, I knew she could handle it if she fell, so we just let her explore.
Good job! You can do it. You're very strong.
I might have drowned.
Our roof rack is only 12 inches tall, and our daughter isn't even 2 yet, so it's actually turning into a really fun playpen for her to explore as we're setting up camp. We might explore this a little bit more, but she seems to be unable to crawl out of it and fall, so we might end up using that as a tool to keep her entertained while we're setting up. After Sam left, we had Kraft mac and cheese with some cut-up hot dogs and a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. In our house, we call it doggeroni, and it's a camping staple. It requires one pot and can be made in 10 to 15 minutes, which makes it the perfect meal when you are busy setting up and you have a hungry toddler on your hands.
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute.
Oh, baby, baby.
Oh, baby, baby.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Deer.
There's a herd of deer behind us. There's probably like 12 or 14 deer. There are always deer here every time we're here. And there's also some birds are migrating back, and they are landing on the lake, which is fantastic. You can see like giant flocks of snow geese just huddled together. I wish I had a good lens so I could show you, but this place is really cool. There's a lot of wildlife here, and it feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. We collected some wood to burn in the fire ring at our campsite, and Emma Grace wanted to help, so she went with Daddy and picked up a log, and she carried this back all by herself. This is one reason why I love taking our toddler camping. She is constantly challenging herself and pushing the limits.
Great. Okay. What are we cooking?
We are making cheesy scrambled eggs with ham in it. After we realized that we left the scuttle at home and didn't have any bacon, and we didn't bring out any utensils or oil. So we're using the pot we did the mac and cheese in last night, and we're just gonna make this work.
Where are we?
During our short stay, we saw flock after flock of migrating bird land on the lake. At first, we thought that they were ducks or geese, but after we observed them for a long time and looked it up, we discovered that they are most likely pelicans, which is really surprising. I would not expect to find pelicans in central Texas. All right, so this was our first night out really by ourselves. And there were a few things that really came to light as being issues we needed to address going forward. Number one was a cooking setup. We don't have a great way to cook food that's like already packed up. We just took a pot from home, which was really bulky and heavy, which normally isn't a big deal, but it was just annoying. And then in the morning, I had packed eggs so that we could have scrambled eggs in the morning. I didn't pack a frying pan, a spatula, or oil. So we literally had to scramble eggs in like a steel pan. They were stuck on the whole thing. It was such a pain to clean. And that was definitely a mistake. And I had a pan, I just forgot to pack it. So we're definitely going to want to invest in the camping cook set. Just something that's compact enough to fit inside, and I can just leave it in there. I don't have to worry about moving things from the house when we need to go camping. I have everything in one place. The next thing that we should have remembered is to pack extra clothes and shoes for the toddler. So she is a brave, beautiful young woman, and she decided just to walk straight into the lake by herself. And so she walked in I mean, she's knee deep, her dress is wet, her only pair of shoes are now completely soaked. Unfortunate because when it got cold later, we were kind of underprepared. The other thing we probably should have thought about before we got there is a way to lock the zipper on the tent. So we have an almost 2-year-old, and she is starting to learn zippers. And the only way to close the tent is through zippers. And so I just had nightmares of her opening the tent and falling to her death because she just was playing with the zipper and tumbled head first. It made me very anxious because we put her down at like 7 and we don't go to bed until 9 or 10. And so just thinking the whole time, like, I really hope she's asleep. Like, I did pull the zipper to the outside part of the tent, and then I did kind of loop the 2 pulls together. So she's opening it, the zipper is just trailing behind it and closing it right behind. That was enough for this trip, but I think in the future a carabiner would be perfect just to lock those 2 together so that she cannot get out. And maybe even some paracord so we can like lock it to the carabiner and then lock it to one of the poles so she definitely can't get out. That would just be a wonderful way to get some peace of mind for me and to make sure that she is safe, because that's priority number 1. And the very last thing we forgot is a way to control the bugs. So we did get the screen for the awning, but when we're using the fire pit, we didn't want to put it underneath the awning, and we really wanted to use the fire pit. So we didn't set up the awning, and man, there were a lot of bugs. Some weird looking bugs, more than just mosquitoes. And I think Thermacell only repels mosquitoes, so it might not have helped, but having some bug spray, I had left the bug spray in the Nissan from the Padre Island National Seashore video, and I had just forgotten to move it. And so that was unfortunate. They didn't bite us, thankfully, but they were pretty annoying. Overall, that's about all we learned. I did learn a few months back, I guess, that using ear protection while you're sleeping is a great way to get some better sleep in the tent because you're not just hearing everything. There's a pack of coyotes that were just so loud at one point during the night. Being able to kind of block out some of the little noises really helps me to get a good night's sleep when I'm camping. That's what we've learned so far. I think our next trip, we don't have any other trips currently planned before our big trip, which is going to start at the end of May for our PCS from Fort Hood, Texas, out to Fort Irwin, California. The lessons learned: bring oil. We need a good camp kitchen set up because all we've got are pots and pans from home. Paper towels or regular towels to clean off the toddler. She's got strawberry all over her.